in there, missus. The Meister isn't home and the Magister's locked her house up for her. They was very angry about it. They said mean things about the Meister and they left a mess, a big one. She's my friend. She was one of the Magisters once. She was very high up. She used to look for God people and help them. But then she stopped that and just stayed in the house all the time. She used to play with me, but then the Magisters took her away, they did. They took her outside the village. I'm not allowed outside the village.
She looks around theatrically to see if there's anyone listening.
When the wind blows from over the stream, I can hear the Meister. I can hear her crying.
She gives you a look of the darkest meaning. Then she takes a deep breath, puts on a happy smile, turns and skips away.
We dwarves had a kingdom, and we will have it back. I won't always be sweeping, I'll be riding horseback. We dwarves had a kingdom, and a proud knight was I won't always be sweeping.
It's all well and good for you with your rations. We've got to take what we can get.
Heavens to Bessie, another one. More queer folk than commoners in Driftwood these days. Plain as day. Don't take hawk eyes to see you're as queer as a pear-shaped apple. Just look at you. Tame owl. Eyes of a wolf. You don't come from no farm, I can tell you that. Anyway, tavern's just down the road. Can't miss it. My pleasure, Gov. Hope you have a good time with the freak folk in there. I'd keep a wary eye, mind. I saw one of them dragging a voidwoken in there once. There's freaks, and then there's lunatics.
Maybe I'm glad I ain't pulling carts of stinking fish round no more. But what's a beast to do if not pull? Here's hoping. I've heard many a bull that's been sold off after the work's dried up. I doubt they were happy.
Together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think...
My word, but a pretty thing like you shouldn't look so exhausted. Perhaps you could use a touch of have at it. Got yourself situated.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, Ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, Ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, Ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Yep.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
Who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Ifan Ben Mezd is our living breeze. I don't know how you got free, but it'll be back to the joy with you and no mistake.
Never forget it.
One eye squints, the other bulges out even further, as if to compensate.
Oh, it's you, all right. It's definitely you. Your little tricks won't work on me, Ben Mezd.
She considers your...
How much?
Smells worse worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
So little. You can sit and think about your stinginess at leisure, in a prison cell.
You're safe among friends. Never forget. You're a delicate one, ain't you? Hope the smell don't drive you off.
Well, hello, stranger. Interested in Driftwood's finest catch?
You look down at the cart and see fish with flaking scales, tumours, and, in one case, 3 heads.
It's free to look. Just don't touch nothing unless you get their travels, friend.
Yes, yes, of course.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Good day to you.
Calm as a coiled spring held tight, this silent watcher stands tense before you.
Food prices these days.
We're lucky to stand in a town protected by Magister Raymond's wisdom. Without him, the Voidwoken would have turned this slum into a charnel house. He will be missed when he sails. Damn it! Magister Raymond wanted word in the caravan, but I had hoped the news would not be so...
War's a brewing, my friend, and we may find ourselves on different sides. It's special prices for you while we're still... War is hell, my friend, but it's very good for business. Good luck to you.
Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
What a sturdy elf you are. Penny for a sick dog. A glance at the dog's miserable face tells you it's sick, all right.
What am I, dog's doctor? Dog's sick. Go on, kiss a penny for a sick dog. Paddy for a penny, you can sing him a love song and call him Mummy. Thank ye kindly. Any... Much obliged. Could I... Cheers. Can I... You're very calm. Nice. Could I... There's the spirit. Much obliged. Cheers. You're very kind.
The dog lies there quiet. It snaps at your hand.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Latest news! Many a latest, my friend. The war, the bishop, the queen. What tickles your fancy? Ain't looking too good for them lizards. Word is, the Divine Order's gonna hit the ancient empire and hit it hard. Don't need to tell you, of all people, them sauce-loving lizards don't stand a chance. Ain't no one left standing when you treat 'em to death, Fog. Seven save us. Stabbed in the back he was, by them vile, low-born, treacherous seekers. Kill 'em all, I say. Do 'em like Magister Raymond did old Lady Seaver. That'll teach them traitors. I mean, they doomed us all, didn't they? The son of the Divine is dead. Gone. Oh, Jolly Justinia, Queen of the Dwarves. Ha! Scourge, more like. Here's 20 or so noble gentlemen. No one knows what they did wrong, if anything, and she has them stripped and whipped all the way to the execution grounds. You ask me, and I say she's mad as a mink with its tail on fire. Queen or no queen.
The Silent Watcher's jaws clench and slacken again and again.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat under the
Blessings of the Divine upon you, my lady. My husband and I were just sitting down for a picnic under the sun. We haven't much to offer, but would you care to join us? Wonderful. Come, sit. Oh, it's lovely to meet new people on the road. There you go, all cozy. So tell me, are you heading to Arks like we are? Nicholas and I wouldn't miss Lucian's Day for the world. Oh, but you must visit the cathedral, please do. The more pilgrims pray for his return, the sooner Lucian will walk among us once more, just like the prophecy says. So come, let us break bread and strengthen ourselves for the journey. We have a sacred duty ahead of us in the holy city of Arks.
You eat, drink, and have a good time of it with Glory and her husband Nicholas.
Greetings! May the Seven circle you and keep you safe. Ah, it's a wonderful day, wouldn't you agree? And with good reason, too. Oh, for isn't it wonder why only a few days ago I was writhing in pain, but then a fellow pilgrim passed by, laid his hands upon my feverish skin, and just like that, I was cured. Truly, it was a miracle. Alas, I cannot say who he was, but I can say what he was. A holy man. Fills my heart with gladness to know that there are still folks like him to be found, now that our Lord Alexander has fallen. May the Seven keep him. May they keep all of them.
Fetch me some right away.
The Magister startles, realizing there's a stranger in his midst.
What do you want, elf? You can't just come in here as you please. There's Magisters missing. I'm trying to conduct a bloody investigation. I didn't ask for your opinion, savage. I asked why you're here. Now answer me. Well, mind your bloody step in future. I've an investigation to carry out, and I don't need any more distractions. Yes, a vile little tinkerer goes by the name of Higba. 3 of my Magisters have gone missing of late from right here in Driftwood. All signs are that Higba is responsible. Hardly. By all accounts, he seemed like just another money-grubbing nobody. He must have caught my Magisters unawares. It's the only explanation. No matter. He'll face justice either way. If you catch sight of that dog, tell me or my men at once. Understand? There might even be a reward in it for you. Well? Do you know anything? Stop wasting my time, then.
Oh, great, a citizen. Can't you see I'm on a break here? What? Oh, no. Poor de Moray. Go tell Magister Raymond or Magister Julian immediately. They'll raise the alert. Go. Now.
Head nodding drowsily, the Magister brings her voluminous sleeve up to her face.
They won't take me unawares. I'm ready for anything. See? I haven't stepped in... Well, I'm ready. That's what matters. Vigilance! Why, whoever's snatching magisters off the street and disappearing them? 6 lost in a week. 6! Need to be ready. Ready! Ready! Ready to protect!
Waving you away, she cranes her neck to scan all around her.
Bellwether, I need those reports.
I'm watching you, stranger.
Driftwood, home of the Black Bull Tower.
Magisters dropping left and right. Can't say I'm shedding it.
Startled, the guard leaps backwards and reaches for her weapon.
Shouldn't surprise me like that. Oh, I could have sliced your neck clean open. Rustling leaves no longer remind me of autumn. A songbird's call no longer makes me whistle. Now, they might signal a void-walking. Have you ever faced a void-walking? Then you count your blessings. If you see one, do not fire an arrow into it. Do not run it through with a sword. Do not pierce it with a dagger. Just run.
She remains in place.
Is there more, elf? Speak up.
The Magister turns to you with a scowl. He already seemed immensely displeased, and your interjection isn't improving his mood.
What?
Look around. Would you be happy stuck guarding this bloody place? 10 years of service, and he stick me in a hole with a bunch of speechless goons. And you. The new leadership ought to learn to respect its veterans. We're the ones who uphold the rule of law, not white ponches like Raymond and Jonathan.
A sly smile creeps across the Magister's face.
Aye, and sooner than you might think, if the rumours are true. Let's just say, there's other places where I'd be appreciated more than I am in Driftwood.
The Magister loses some of his bluster.
I ain't saying. It's a secret for loyal members of the Divine Order only. Oh, aye. So you can escape, is it? Not bloody likely.
Shut your mouth, prisoner.
Occupy! Oh, unholy hells! Do I? Oh, that's what I get. Bloody tainted stew! Mix a little, fish into some of my stew. Bloody mackerel, save me, Lucian! Why the devil is this stall out in the open?
I'll stay out of there, thanks.
Keep your eyes peeled. Ramos the Wanderer promised he'd be here.
Seeking signs from the gods.
Finally! Your colleague over there is absolutely useless. I'll have a bowl of the house stew, if you please. Heartless.
Weep, my friends, for Alexander.
An elf sways on her chair, her eyes focused on the counter in front of her, where she has 6 glasses in a row. With the nails of 2 fingers, she's pressing red welts into her forearm. She slides one of the drinks towards you, her head bobbling heavily on her neck as she nods at the sparkling ale.
And
Her eyes go wide with panic.
The fog came over them all of them, and they never came out. Everyone I know is dead. Excuse me.
Paradise against all.
A prim woman in a starched apron wipes a glass with a clean rag. She pins you with blue, steel-sharp eyes as you approach the bar.
Blessings upon our Lucian, 7 times divine.
The soft lines of her face fold into a warm smile. She sets the glass on the counter and pours you a generous portion of an amber liquor.
I see your mother raised you very well indeed. Rare for an elf, but all the more impressive. You and my Naiads might even get along. What brings you to Driftwood, darling? Yes, that's my boy. Did you know him?
Finest physician in all of Reaper's Coast. Top of his class. My, but it's been too long since I've seen him. Too bad. I taught that boy right. Abstinence and chastity. And look at him now. A physician in the Divine Zone Order. Anyhow, what can I get you? We've only got amber ale, I'm afraid. Can't spare the potatoes for hard alcohol. If you'd like something that'll stick to your ribs, I'd flag down Loverick and get yourself a bowl of that.
Yeah? You're good with the Magisters caging anyone up that looks at them funny.
Damn right. I got a right to live, don't I? Throw him in a hole.
Fine voice. That glorious visage. You are fair, elf, but Barstan's allure is unsurpassed. Such a face could only be sculpted by the hands of a god.
Taken pretty good, ain't he? Bet he'd even write a poem for you.
Thus ended the conclusion of a noble... You have interrupted my newest masterpiece!
The bard clears his throat and gargles on his own saliva. He then returns to his poem.
Well, never you mind. Every sonnet I compose is a masterpiece, and my muse has been begging me to write something new. Wait! You might be just the stimulus I needed. I shall craft a rhyme for you and your race. All I ask in return is a handful of coins. It's an offer of a lifetime. Normally I'd argue with you, but you do have a certain look about you. Very well. But if I am to write a first-rate...
He stares at you for a few torturing moments.
My first question. Are you hungry? Actually, that's not quite what I mean. But you eat flesh. When you look at me, what do you see? A dwarf? A bard? A meal?
He smiles a crooked smile and runs a hand through his greasy hair.
An elf craves those memories like an addict craves Drudene. A pity that you turn to the dead for emotional sustenance. Would you not rather form bonds with the living? I suspect you collect memories not for knowledge, but from fear. Your homeland fell to the ravages of war and death fog. You worry of more loss, more loneliness. Tell me, elf.
The bard hems and haws, then bellows his next words to anyone who might hear.
To all lovers of verse, I bring glorious news. I have completed another modern classic. Listen now, and bask in its resounding refrain. Elf collects the wisdom of the ages, learned from flesh and bone both left behind. Fill up on tales lived by cultures past. A feast not for the belly, but the mind. A wealth of knowledge, not of shiny trinkets. They know the past, so future may be bright. But threatened by the void, they rise together, chasing off the darkness with the light.
Throw him in a hole for all I care. Isn't it great good?
You must be delighted by my newest ode. Oh, soon bards throughout Riverlon will sing it. Fame, notoriety, neither, or both. The thing about a good verse is that it wiggles into the ear. People think it's just a catchy rhyme, but it changes minds and hearts for...
Arguing with Mac is like giving medicine to the dead. He's as stubborn as a corpse and smells the part to boot. No wonder Papa Thrash gives him the stink any time he tries to go downstairs.
I don't give a rat's ass what they say downstairs. The Magisters is all that stands between us and the Voidwoken. We should be grateful.
They know the past, so future may be bright. But threatened by the void, they rise together, chasing off the darkness.
She nods an uninterested greeting.
Here for the fight? This is a tavern. People are drinking. Eventually there'll be a fight. You planning on starting one? Well, I look forward to beating the shite out of you then. Bye now. Till later.
He fixes you with a stare, looks you up and down, weighs you up, the cut of your cloth, the weight of your bag. A moment passes. Then a smile creases his face, a smile carefully constructed to look friendly and authentic, a smile that doesn't reach his eyes.
Greetings, stranger. Looking to ease the pain of a decaying world? You're in the right place. Beers are ordered at the bar, but can I interest you in a nourishing bowl of stew?
He purses his lips. His fingers drum a pattern on his elbow as he assesses you.
I'm sorry, I mistook you for a different kind of person. My mistake. I shall return to serving the other customers, and I wish you a good, if boring, appetite. Don't come...
Fill up on tails, everybody hold your pass. If you got nothing to hide, they got nothing to hide.
Hold it. Papa no, you no go.
Bit you on the arse. Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy.
You've got to pick who you can trust.
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
And I'm saying you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you know? If they can get Alexander...
With a dip of her head, she indicates that you should talk to her companion.
What do you want, tree stock?
The bell still rings. Do you hear it? Do you hear it?
Yeah, right. I'm too busy right now to arrest you. But before you go, perhaps you can help us settle an argument. Thatcher here is one of my dearest friends, but she isn't the brightest.
Thatcher grins hello.
Our mate Boris got posted to Fort Joy for consorting with lizards. And Thatcher here still fancies a turn around the park with Loverick's lizard. I say she'd be sleeping with the enemy. What say you?
They look at you expectantly.
You've got to pick who you can trust.
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
And I'm saying you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you know? If they can get Alexander, they can get any of us.
Who rings the bell?
You're right about that. Right as rain, Hilka.
Thatcher bursts out laughing. Eden goes bright red.
Get lost before I throw you in a cell for disrespecting a magister. Two magisters. The magisters.
Thatcher doesn't look disrespected. Thatcher looks amused.
Disrespecting one magister's enough. Go on, get lost.
She turns back to her drink.
Of course it's not true.
It's a shame, it is.
An absolute shame.
I'm not in love with you. Who rings the bell?
Oh no, can you believe it? The divine son slaughtered like a supper lamb.
It ain't right.
It ain't right. Never thought I'd say this. I hope they round up them sorcerers for good.
I ain't needing one sick and avoid working on me.
You said it, Hilka. You're a true patriot.
Of course it's not true.
A weathered woman in a dirty sea captain's tunic babbles breathlessly to herself.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn. And I without my compass.
I can see a sorcerer from a mile away.
The ship is in the locker, on the bottom in the rocky shallows, and all are drowned but me. And yet, can you hear? The bell rings on. The bell haunts me yet, and it would drive me mad. Perhaps I am already mad. But I swear I hear the bells. Please, make it stop.
She buries her head in her hands and cries.
Make it stop.
Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
The town is poor, but this room is rich.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn. The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
And I'm saying...
Who rings the bell?
Weathered and rugged, the man sleeps soundly. He mumbles in his slumber.
There's bad things in the caves. Bad dwarf thing.
He goes back.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
The man sleeps. His eyes flicker open, but he looks like he's still asleep.
The island is ruined and doesn't have a name. Don't go there.
Startled, he opens his eyes, but he's staring into the distance. He's still asleep.
There's no graveyard on the island. Stay away from the graveyard.
His eyes flick wide open, but he's clearly asleep.
Sawdust and wolves, Mother. Sawdust and wolves.
His eyes open, but he doesn't.
Arcs for Lucian's Day sounds nice, Mother.
His eyes open, but he doesn't see you. His eyes flick wide open, but he's clearly asleep.
It's mine. Get off.
He goes back to sleep.
The bell still rings. Do you hear it?
Of course it's not true. I'm not in love with
What the devil? Here now. When one's in a small town, one must expect small town manners, I see. Have you a reason for barging into my room, madam?
Of course it's not true.
You've got to make a contrast.
Smile all you want.
Ah, so it's dear Prudence who's responsible for our confusion. Odd, she's usually as strict as a taxman. Still, no harm done, I suppose. I may as well introduce myself. Baron Levere, at your service. Of course they are, as good bodyguards should be. I'm a wealthy man, and wealthy men need protection, especially if they accompany their wealth. The merchant's burden, you see. He must escort his merchandise, always. Travels, you say? And why would you assume I'm a traveling man?
He laughs heartily.
Of all things, I wouldn't have thought my boots would give me away, but you're quite right, of course. I am travelling, yes, to Arx. Lucian's Day will be upon us soon, a celebration no man with a heart that is both as pious and mercantile as mine should miss. I go because it is every citizen's duty, our communal obligation to chant the rites of the return and pray for Lucian's divine resurrection. That said, I do have more secular motivations as well. Arx positively overflows with pilgrims during the festival, pilgrims and their purses. As a merchant, it is quite my favorite day of the year. Music to my ears. A happy accident after all, you're barging into my room. If there's anything else you need, know you're always welcome.
I've got a pick.
Smile all you want. I'm not in
And
love
I
with
find
you.
out you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you know? If they can get Alexander, they can get any of us.
You're right about that. Right as right.
He gives you the slightest...
What'll it be?
He purses his lips. His fingers drum a pattern on his elbow as he assesses you.
I'm sorry. I mistook you for a different kind of person. My mistake? I'm sorry. It's not about them. Really, you insult me now. This is about fellowship. About a shared world view amongst...
A smile spreads across his face. He holds out his hand. A look of recognition...
What'll it be?
He purses his lips.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Really?
A smile.
Now we're speaking the same language. So, let me ask you this. Across the world, who is renowned above all others for their exquisite love-making abilities? Well, I'm sure that in your own case that sentiment is almost true. But no, let me tell you the truth of the matter, my friend. The very best lovers are, whisper it, lizards. And for a barely significant sum of gold, I can introduce you to the greatest lizard lover the world has ever seen. Well, this is what's available. Take it or leave it.
He holds out his hand. The money vanishes into his apron.
Now, let me ask you this. What flavour of stew do you prefer? Do you like the strong? Upstairs, on the second floor. Her name is Zara. Pleasure is her business. Enjoy the experience of a lifetime.
He gives you a mischievous grin, then dips his head in salute and turns away.
What would I do without you, Rude?
Throw him in a hole for all I care. He's
Pipe
the
down,
cradle
will
of
you?
the feast, not for the belly. But they know the past, so the future may be bright. Tell me, if they look nothing to eye, they cannot attract
A look of recognition.
What are you waiting for?
He rolls his eyes.
You've got to pick who you can trust.
Of course it's not true.
Mother, I have no words for that.
Who rings the bell?
He fixes you with a stare, then a smile.
Greetings, my lord.
He purses his lips. His fingers drum a pattern on his elbow as he assesses you. A lascivious smile spreads across his face. His tongue darts from his mouth.
Let me ask you this. Across the world, who is renowned above all others? Exactly. And of your kin, there is one whom I believe to be talented above all of your kind. The price, I'm afraid, is not negotiable. And believe me,
the money vanishes into his apron.
Now, let me ask you this. Upstairs.
He gives you a mischievous... A lizard, tall and beautiful, turns towards you. She fixes you with a sultry look, and when she speaks, it's like listening to honeyed smoke.
I'm sorry. We can't do...
She gives you an apologetic look, then turns away. A lizard, tall and beautiful...
I'm so glad you came.
She turns her back...
Hold it. Papa no, you no go. Didn't hear me the first time, eh? That'll be a hard no, dear. Yeah? I'd get used to it if I were you. Nobody'll be sucking your fingers clean round here. Hey, back away from the stairs.
No rest until the killer is found.
An elf in tattered red robes shifts through pages of handwritten notes spread across the table.
So many suspects. So many potential culprits. I need to narrow down the list. Think, you damn elf, think.
A floorboard creaks beneath your foot. The elf leaps around abruptly.
What are you doing, elf? Trying to get a drop on me? Sneak up and slit my throat? You're lucky I have other matters to deal with, otherwise you wouldn't get away so lightly with insulting me. Now leave me be. My Magister comrades have been disappearing, and I'm gonna find out who. I was removed from their ranks due to my elven blood. I'll continue to serve, though. I won't stand to see my comrades taken by some vile traitor. The Magisters are all I know, all I want. I turned my back on everything else when I joined them. My name, my blood, my history. If I'm not one of them, I'm nothing. I have to help them. 3 Magisters missing so far, and the rest are hunting for some sorcerer called Higba, a bloody tinkerer. He can't be responsible. I'm certain he can't. He might be a greedy little junk peddler and a sorcerer to boot, but hardly capable of seizing Magisters. They won't listen to me. Not anymore.
The elf nods, stoically.
Exactly. I'm convinced that this tavern holds the key. It's full of scum and degenerates. The true culprit could easily hide amongst them. I have to keep investigating, keep the pressure up. The culprit will make a mistake eventually. If you see anything suspicious, let me know. What? I serve with utter loyalty now and forever. Now get away from me and don't come back unless you have information I can use. Come on. Lives are at stake.
You can stay there with the dirty lizards and Joe's...
Take that, sorcerer. Dallas, get her.
You're dead, Alexander. Alexander, you're dead. You have to stay dead until we say you're not dead anymore.
Here, missus. Alexander doesn't have to stay dead, does it? Hey, are you an elf?
The 3 kids stare at the collar in awe. Then they stare at you in even...
Is that real? Yeah, it's real. I seen the one they put on Joe's mum before she got sent to Fort Joy.
A real source collar. This is the best day of my life. Come here, sorcerer. I'm going to put a stop to your shenanigans for real.
The sorcerer screams and runs away. Dallas and Alexander in hot pursuit, all 3 children laughing.
No rest until the killer is found.
Woohoo!
Dallas and Alexander... The dwarf is unnaturally still. You might mistake her for a corpse, were it not for a slight twitch of her eyelids. She calmly opens her left eye, then her right.
What do you want? Nah, nice quiet spot for a dwarf to get some shut-eye. Cobwebs, I reckon. Maybe some spiders and silverfish, rats. Nothing you want. Unless you collect cobwebs, I guess. Ain't hardly nothing. This is the warmest corner in the house, is all. And didn't I tell you to scram? Wine all you want. I'm staying and you're...
Before you can ask more, the dwarf holds up her hands and closes... The dwarf is unnaturally still. You might mistake... The dwarf is unnaturally still. She calmly opens...
What do you want? Cobwebs, I reckon. Maybe some spiders and silverfish, rat... Wine all...
Before you can ask more...
Hello, missus.
The little boy looks at...
You be careful. My daddy's a man.
No, he's not. His daddy's a fisherman like most daddies round here. We were waiting for our friend. He went for a swim. He'll be back soon.
He went swimming all the way to Fort Happy.
Fort Joy?
That's what I said. Fort Joy. He's going to find his mum and bring her back. That's right.
I think he's an idiot. And when he...
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
Joe's gone a bit long now.
You're safe among friends. Never forget. I can tour the side of Quite welcome.
That's it. The barrels and the chests. On the double.
I've enough strife trying to earn a bit of coin without...
You two, Julian, show 'em how it's done, man. Don't let up now. Keep hauling that cargo. That's it. The barrels and the chests. On the double. Go on, you mute sacks of flesh. Put your backs into it. I'll not lose another day to the Lord Dread awaits. Its sails billow with Dallas's breath.
The Magister stops, barking orders. He sniffs the air like a predator. turns to face you, the wolf eyeing the deer.
Oh, but yours is not a stink like the one that surrounds us, spat from a dying sea. Yours is a set. Tell me, have you ever been strung up by the hands? Your body swinging like a bell's clapper as your bones are being broken with cast iron rods? We do cruel things unto others and unto ourselves.
He licks his lips. Dry flesh turns.
See, I'd like to string you up too. Rack you with rods and leave you dangling over a puddle of your own blood and piss.
His sliver of a smile could rival a rattler's.
I'm very good at what I do, see? I don't even need... There was a whiff of something in the air when you approached. A current of filth that best convinced me I was mistaken.
He leans in closer and sniffs the air once more.
Interesting. So I was mistaken. Must have been ambition I smelt on you, not the magic that dare not speak its name. Very well. In that case, we'll forego the gallows and turn straight to the hunt. No doubt a trustee of Dallas is champing at the bit to see some action. Seems peaceful here, doesn't it? A quiet day in a quiet town. One wouldn't think these drifting woods, but they do. I'm quite capable, but as you can see, I'm also preparing to set sail. And consider for a moment the dwarf. What is he? A mule? A beast of burden? But some defy that role. There are rats among them, dancing to their rat queen's tune. I've need of a rat catcher. Of course, I must depart post-haste, but Julian here...
Stay behind? But I've my orders, same as you.
Like I said, Julian is staying. And with that, I must be off. No hard feelings about the death threats, of course. How about we part shaking hands instead of...
For a few moments, his hand hangs motionless in the air, then is withdrawn with a swift and
Hard feelings, it is. I'll remember. The time has come, my stitched-lit lovelies. We set sail. Get on board and man your stations.
Left behind like a dog. Blah. 7 curses upon that ship.
The Magister is rubbing the dirt off his robes.
You, the so-called friend of Dallas. I'd be whining and dining aboard the Lord Dread if it weren't for you. Your meddling in Magister affairs had better be worth it.
Keeping it together, Bree.
I don't care if we tear this place up. We will find him.
You can't just charge in here and ransack my business.
There's a murder on the loose, and you're thinking about your business.
I have rights. You've no authority to storm in here like this.
We have the authority of 4 missing magisters. And if we suspect you're hiding there, what in the 7 hells is a lizard doing here? Shouldn't you be in your empire, or stretched out on a rock in the sun? We're looking for someone. A sorcerer that's been killing my brothers. Probably a friend of yours. Grey cloak, grey beard, acting suspiciously. Perhaps you've seen him. Blast! Well, if you do see anything odd, report it immediately. There is a foul creature lurking in one of these shadows, and we will find him. A sorcerer. He arrived dressed as a tinkerer, but then magisters started disappearing. As soon as we asked him about it, he fled. Who knows what he's done with our divine brothers? Why else would he run? If he had nothing to hide, he would have nothing to fear. Besides, he was seen with the effects of one of our company. I dread to think how he came about them. We chased him to this factory, but lost him on the docks. Now, I have a patrol to complete. If you see anything, tell me.
I'll call this place plank by plank. Now.
The dwarf reaches into a barrel and pulls. The innards fall to the floor, landing in a pool of dark bile. You'd expect fish to smell, but these reek.
Oh, I forgot your lot still keep slaves. Your empire's rotten as this catch. But the boss has found a buyer for this muck, so maybe there's hope for you yet.
He runs his knife through another fish and flicks the blade.
I'd say your guess is as good as mine, except I got the sense not to ask any questions.
The dwarf turns back to his work, slicing and disemboweling fish after fish as the blood and black bile mix and swirl around. Looking at the barrel, you see that someone has scrawled Black House on it in paint. You cast your eyes around to see that every barrel headed to Arx has the same inscription.
Here, leave them barrels alone. There's a sorcerer somewhere in this worm-ridden dump. Have you seen him? Lucians, if you see anything suspicious, anything at all, report it immediately. Do you understand?
You'd swear the shark was smiling at you.
What? You be needing something from me, lass? Ain't much inclined to rub elbows with elves, if you catch me drift. Decency, eh? Oh, I had me some decency, back in the day. Days before the Reds, days of the Divine, long gone. Glad to hear you say it. The day will come we'll overthrow 'em, you mark my words. Until then, I'll practice the art of gutting on fugitive. I don't think that's something I should be discussing with strangers. Because I don't intend to end up with me lips stitched together, that's why. No, I shan't be baited. I ain't saying nothing on the topic no more. I said no, and I meant it. What? You be needing something from me, lad? Ain't much inclined to rub elbows with lizards, if you catch me drift. One of those, are you? An aristocrat? Between you and me, Fancy Pants, I'll still take a slaver like yourself over the Glad to hear you say it. The day will come. I had friends. Good friend. Ever heard of that place? Fort Joy? They send you there means you ain't never coming back. Pish posh. And who'll bail them out? Seekers? Them's even... No. Them friends of mine are dead or silenced. All on account of the Reds. All on account of that. Like I said, they're either dead or silenced.
Still no sign. I'll flash the... So, report. Did you find anything? If you see anything...
If any of you see so much as a rat's hair out of place, tell the magisters. Get back to work.
You see a man, well-fed and wealthy, but stress has lined his face. He tries to ignore your...
See here, Scale. I'm very busy. The factory is crawling with magisters, and our shipments to Arx are held up. Time is money. Don't waste my money. What do you want? Fish. This is a fish factory. I'm shipping fish to Arx. Now please, there's the door. I suggest you use it. A sophisticated imperial lizard like yourself will surely know that in business, there's a market for...
A dark shadow passes.
Sometimes it finds you. That's privileged information. I have a trade to protect. An excellent point. Well made. The answer to your question is, unsurprisingly, a man in a house. A man in a house buys all the void-tainted fish I can send him.
That dark shadow crosses his face once more. He shivers.
Not that I've ever met the man. Not sure I want to, if I'm honest. Absolutely not. I don't give away sensitive information like that to anyone who just asks for it. And I don't keep it lying around, neither. That really is enough now.
I don't want to hear another word.
Come on, damn you. Think.
elf collects the wisdom of the ages.
It's the great good.
Learn from flesh and bone both left behind.
If it bit you on the arse.
Fill up on
He gives you the...
What'll it be?
He purses his lips. His fingers drum a pattern on his elbow as...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Really?
A smile spreads across his face. He holds out...
Now we're speaking the same language. So, let me ask you this. Across the world, who is renowned above all others for their exquisite love-making abilities? Well, I'm sure that in your, my friend, the very best lovers are, whisper it. Well, this is what's of a...
He holds out his hand. The money that...
Now, let me ask you this. Upstairs, on the...
He gives you a mischievous...
On the arse.
You've got a penny.
Mother, I'm sleeping.
A lizard, tall and beautiful, turns towards you. She fixes you with a sultry look.
Oh, I'm sorry, madam. I didn't mean anything by it. I'm just the demure yet sexy maid. I was in here clearing up and I saw these clothes. I couldn't resist. Please don't punish me. I'm so sorry, madam. I shall remove these clothes immediately. But mistress, these clasps and straps, they're so difficult for my delicate, sensitive, playful fingers.
She bats her eyelashes as she turns her back to you.
Mind helping me?
She holds the robe to her, turns to face you. A mischievous smile plays across her lips. Then she lets the robe fall to the floor. Her mouth opens to form a perfect O of mock horror. Then she grins.
Take me.
She smiles, takes you by one manicured hand. With the other, she strokes your cheek. Traces a line down your neck to your collarbone and your clothes. Slowly, she undresses you, then takes you to bed. Your world explodes in ecstasy.
Good morning, lovebirds. Good morning, Gil. Hey, this is my lover. Lover, this is my friend Gil. I'm sorry, darling. It's a setup. You paid for it.
To wit, we're taking all your stuff. If you want it back, you can take it up with Lohar. Reckon that's for you to figure out.
She gives you a...
I'm sorry.
And time is money. So if we're all clear on what's happening here, we'll be leaving with your stuff.
course, my lord.
Cornered.
I'm not in love with you.
Water looks a bit cold to me.
You too, Julian. Show him how it's done, man. Don't let up now.
I don't care if you tear this place apart. We will find him.
You can't just charge in here and ransack my business.
There's a murder on the loose, and you're thinking about your business.
I have rights. You've no authority to storm in here like this.
We have the authority of 4 missing magisters. And if we suspect you've been warned, Barnes, now, get...
The Magister turned.
What in the 7 hells is a lizard doing here? Shouldn't you be in your imp? We're looking for someone. The sorcerer that's been killing my blast. Well, if you do see anything odd, report it immediately.
The Magister... You see a man, well, he tries...
See here, I'm very busy. The factory fish. This is a fish factory. I'm shipping fish to art. A sophisticated...
A dark shadow...
Sometimes. That's privileged. An excellent...
That...
Not that I've ever met the man. Not sure I want to, if I'm honest. When you've been in business as long as I have, you learn not to quit.
What? You be needing something from me, lad? Ain't much inclined to rub elbows with lizards. One of those. Between you and me, Fancy Pants, I'll still take a slave. Glad to hear you say it. The day will come we'll overthrow him, you mark my word. Fugitive. I don't think that's something I should be discussing with strangers. Because I don't intend... No, I shan't be baited. Godspeed, buggered fuck.
The dwarf leans in and begins...
This fella runs along, right, sweating, panicking. Red's racing after him like hunting hounds. Hide in a barrel, you fool, I yelled. And what the problem is, he's still in there. Been hours. Can't go nowhere, he can't, not with the Reds.
Keeping it together.
did not kill Alexander, you stupid ape. Release me! Come now. Is this really necessary?
The lizard hangs from the gibbet, her face blooded and her scales discoloured. Her eyes are closed, but her tongue flickers as you approach.
Welcome to Driftwood, God-woken.
One bloody eye cracks open, glittering gold appearing from beneath the swollen lid.
Chased you all the way here from Fort Joy, did they? Very well then, cut me down. There is work to be done. Or indeed you could stand there still as a boiled lobster. You seem to have mastered that look.
The Meister bares her teeth, stained a deep pink by her blood.
Malady is unfortunately mistaken. I cannot train you, but I can certainly help you on your path. As long as I am free of this rope. Be quick about it, before the Magister realizes their prize catch is about to slip through the net. What are you waiting for? Do it, damn you! If they find out what you are, you'll be blessed to end up hanging beside me. What? Where?
A Magister guard approaches. Behind her, on the gallows, two lizards. One in a Magister uniform hangs dead from her neck. The other hangs from her...
Step away from the prisoner, Red Scales! That's internal order business. You'd do well to leave it alone. Let's just say Zeus and there was of help to sorcerers, and leave it at that. She's hanging by her hands because the boss don't want her dead just yet. She's a tough one, Meister Seaver. She's a seeker, and she's a bloody traitor. What have you heard? Have you heard that she was part of the Order? Knew Alexander personally. Alexander trusted her, at least as far as you can trust her, you know, one of you. Anyway, to repay that trust, the Meister gave Alexander up to his enemies. She wasn't there when Alexander fell, but White Magister Raymond uncovered the truth. She's as guilty as any of them, and I reckon she got off lightly. I'd have had her flayed alive with a salted bullwhip. You're going to... what, now? She betrayed Alexander. I'd sooner die than free her.
Do you even know what they've done to you?
I'll regret this, I know I will. All right, I'll stand aside.
The lizard hangs from the gibbet. Her face...
Welcome to...
One bloody eye...
Chased. Or indeed you could stand there gawping as if your master had just ordered you to fly. Whatever fits your purpose, my dear.
The lizard grimaces, shifting...
I am in intense pain, Evergreen. You are either insufferably cruel or insufferably stupid. Insufferably stupid. As if there was any... You are whippet thin, implying you've been a captive. Your wrists have seen the sun, but your neck has not, so you... After an escape, any sane creature would rest, but the bags under your eyes indicate you haven't. Why not? You must have been chased. No one important escapes a prison without help, and no one frees sorcerers bar the Seekers. They thought you were worth saving, and thus I surmise. Now, an important person does not come to Driftwood unless they seek someone even more important than themselves, so I further surmise you are here for me and will help me down. Be quick about it. Who knows when that Magister might return?
God's teeth, it feels good to move again. Now, best scurry off before that Magister wanders back. Meet me at my home in Driftwood.
Are you sure? Them sorcerers from the caravan?
Maybe not come back. There's no source. There's no point with them. If I just make it up.
I don't want to hear a...
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget.
Be watchful.
She raised...
You'll need to tell Lord Raymond at the moor and you...
If any of you see so much as a rat's hair out of place, you tell the Magisters.
It's called a source collar.
It doesn't make sense. I'm missing.
Tell me, have you heard any news?
the Divine you're here to protect us.
Yeah, I think that lunatic Siva is loose again. We won't be...
She doesn't feel like...
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder.
Damnable red-cloaked baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my unmentionables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder back into...
I swear by the seven, if we did not have more important matters to attend...
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle and thread out of a box. She slowly starts to tend to her...
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe. Apparently I had a claw in murdering their darling divine-in-waiting Alexander.
The Meister wrenches the bandage, pulling the fabric tight against her wound. She winces before tying it off in a neat knot, but you can see the red stain already spreading across the fabric.
Never mind that. That I was here the entire time. Apparently my cunning transcends time, space, and common sense.
The Meister turns to you, her eyes wide with worry.
Oh, pardon. I'm so sorry. How could I have forgotten? Thank you so much. Thank you for rescuing me after they had already strung me up. After they had tortured me for days. After they...
She stops mid-shout, descending into a fit of coughing, wheezing, and groaning. She glowers at you as she slowly regains her composure.
If we are quite finished with politeness. Enthusiasm? On a weekday? My word. We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen, Godwoken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, Godwoken. It is time to see just how awake you are. Fortunately, the Magisters pay as much attention to art as they do to fashion. Kindly remove that painting from the wall. It really is quite simple. In the corner there's a paint. The combination to the vault is 15R 34L, 23R 35R, 9R 16L, 33L 45R, 51L 1L. Try to get it right. My instructions will not be too technical for you. Your talent for following simple instructions. Push the button.
A stone door lies flush with the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite frame a delicate rotary dial. Gleaming under the dim light, the metallic dial almost seems to wink at you. Taking your time, you carefully enter the combination. The metallic sounds of the tumblers fall...
Excellent. Follow me. Your time is at hand, Godwoken.
Ancient ruins.
Feel free to look about while I catch my breath.
This place is an Arcanist's dream.
Come speak to me when you wish to proceed. And try not to break anything in the meantime.
The Magister turns to you with a scowl.
What?
The Magister
Keep out of it! That's what I want to know. The new leadership ought to learn to respect its veterans. We're the ones who uphold the rule of law, not white punch.
A slide.
Aye, and sooner than you might think, if the rumours are true. Let's just say, there's other places where I'd...
The Magister...
I ain't saying. Who asked you? You're not even supposed to be down here.
The Magister glances around the cells before ripping the keys from his...
This isn't the divine order I signed up for. Not anymore. I'm done.
Oh, lucky find.
Course, sir. Right away.
Gotta say, I think we're onto something.
Together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as
I think that lunatic Siva is lucid.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Insubordination!
Wouldn't you like to know.
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
God knows where to stop those beasts. How keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe.
The dog lies there.
What are you looking at? I'm sick here. Get lost.
It snaps at your hand. It flinches. A low, threatening growl builds within it. Under the collar, you find the sharpened points of metal rivets, gouging the poor dog's skin. The dog bares its teeth at you and growls. The dog gives you a long, hard stare, but does not bite you. Yet. The dog goes to bite your hand, and then realizes the pain is gone.
Hey, I feel okay. Thanks, man. Think I'll wander off now. Here, before I go, what can I do to show my gratitude?
I'm all right, as long as I don't.
Master did.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Huh? Wait a minute. Master hurted me?
He turns to his...
You bad man, you!
Penny for a grieving beggar whose dog ran away. God damn it. That was my livelihood. Penny for a grieving beggar? I reckon I'm owed it here. You wouldn't do that, would you? Oh, yes. You would do that, wouldn't you? I couldn't prevail upon you to change your mind, could I?
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
He gives you a cool look, then rummages in his pocket. He counts the money out and hands it over.
That's your lot. Go on then. Get lost, you freeloader.
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Disappearances. My career is at stake.
The Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that. Her face seems grim as she turns.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, Godwoken? Sarcasm, my girl, is not one of the seven. No. Becoming the divine means taking on the power of all the gods and the responsibility for all the races. The divine was created by the gods to shelter us from the void. The divine cannot use her power for anything else. Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snatch Divinity from the jaws of the void. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then inhale the smoke. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, burning in your lungs, or a dire sense of existential dread. They're all perfectly normal. Although you will need to sacrifice a little sauce along the way. Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard. Sauce in the glowing fountain. Ritual in the tome by the bookcase. Even an incinerator to provide a flame.
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
Quite. Mind you, being torn asunder by a Voidwoken would be even more inconvenient.
The Meister points sharply to the ingredients cupboard.
Once, although not by a Godwoken. My assistant did not believe that one had to be chosen by a god to become divine.
She waves a bandaged hand absent-mindedly, wincing slightly.
A headstrong and thoughtless girl, but the experience was... was quite educational. From observing her, I gather that the ritual involves inhaling the smoke, a lot of screaming, and a rather sudden death. Then you will crawl back to whatever hole you came from, where you will sit and wait to see whether the Magisters or the Voidwoken kill you first.
The Meister leans in to speak, her eyes cold and unrelenting.
This is not a game, Godwoken. You may be our last chance to set things right in this world. What you can do is read the tome by the bookcase and get started. Go!
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular... After a quick rummage, you spot the blackroot, nestled between the grated dragon's tongue and... You gather up the blackroot, obsidian lance, and ancient bowl, and kick the door of the cupboard closed. Opening the door, you...
Good find.
As you suck the smoke deep into your lungs, your vision starts to swim and cloud. There is an intense pounding in your head, and you can feel the world fading. As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you could feel yourself falling slowly, sinking into the depths of your own soul.
Deepest recess of my soul. But it looks like the Hall of Echoes.
Bathed in the half-light of these starless barrens, you spot a figure you could only describe as a second self. It looks haggard and weak, its very voice but a feeble echo of your own.
Sabil, come closer, so that you may see me as I truly am. Look me in the eye.
The apparition clasps your face in its shaking hands. You suddenly feel your eyes tingle. Everything becomes brighter, sharper, Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color, then fade back into their accustomed spectrum.
Blind eyes, shine brightly. Speak the spell and see.
God is the strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the god Tis Endelius, in all his spectral...
You know me, don't you? I saved you from drowning. I blessed you, made you powerful, and now I've come to seek some power in return. Your god-woken soul is my last refuge, my last bastion. May as well make the best of what you have to offer.
Tis Endelius nourishes himself from the source that abounds in your presence. You feast deep down inside yourself.
Ah, yes. Just what I needed. I tell you, dying just doesn't become a god. The Void itself is hunting down the gods, leeching us in ways we never thought possible. Droplet by droplet, we are being drained. We're battling for our very survival. It's a battle we're losing, and should we truly lose, all will be cast into oblivion. Don't you be impertinent, girl. The table's turning is not a victory, but a bitter stalemate at best. You must realize, Sabine, that our fates are now as one, just as our souls are now as one. We are I. Together we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we seek to survive the onslaught of the Void, we stand no chance unless we become vastly more powerful than we are now. That means there is but one place we can go. The Well of Ascension. It most certainly will be. The Well of Ascension is a lake, a pool of pure source in which the powers of the Seven lie united. We gave them up freely to create the first divine. Each of us donated half of that which makes us gods. To bathe in the lake is to become our chosen. That is where the road to divinity leads. And you must be the first to reach it at all costs. It was a time of selflessness and sacrifice in the face of our old enemy. It was an act of heroism and a dreadful mistake to boot, which we must rectify. The Void is stronger than ever. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension, not to bathe in the source of the Seven, but to take it. All of it. Only she who claims everything will be everything. The Void's doom, this world's liberator. It's very simple, really. They will either bow to you, or be undone. But of course that is what they are saying to their own God-woken as we speak. We both know they won't bow, just like we both know you will never bow to them. Only one can become a god strong enough to safeguard our world. One, at the expense of all others. So make no mistake, Sabine. Chances are the road to divinity will be paved with dead gods. Their blood on your blood-red hand. But don't let that dismay you, for these sins will be washed clean by the knowledge you committed them to save all of existence. To save your kin, and your loved ones, and the world they live in. They will be at your mercy, which is vastly preferable to you being at theirs. So fret not, but revel in the promise of the lake. I will lead you there when you are ready, when you've become a true master of the Source, and speak the language of creation itself. Our journey will be fraught with peril, It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source like only a Godwoken can, and wield its most powerful spells.
Hoarse laughter rolls and echoes into
Perhaps. But what is a pilgrimage after all, if not a journey of atonement, in search of enlightenment? Focus not on death and irony, Sabeel. On life and ascension instead. We are I now. The spells you need to know I will teach you when you are ready. But first, you must learn to channel the Source in greater volumes. That is why you need to seek masters of the Source. You must make them teach you, so that you may become a master in turn. So return to Rivellon and seek out these sages where they dwell. Convince them to share with you their deep-seated bond with the Source. Once you have, you may return to me here. Something that will make you understand that for a god, there is precious little difference between the living and the Source is. It is a constant, a subject of neither time nor transience. All of life is... You have the vision of a god now. Eyes that can see spirits. Speak the spell during your peregrinations and you will see them. Where the dead lie, the dead linger. And so much more. But I'm no longer who I once was, bound to you as I've become. I will teach you what I can, but the knowledge that will expand the bounds of your soul, that you'll have to hunt for yourself. Best of luck, Sabeel.
A man's spirit stands before you, clad in scholarly dress. When your eyes meet, he staggers back, terrified.
Who has taken my books? My notes? They were here just a moment ago. Everything was peaceful again. Sweet Armadia, why do you test your chronicler so, haunting me with spirits? Am I cursed? Has the goddess turned her back on me?
The chronicler shudders, looking sick to his...
Again. This again. I sleep, then I wake, and another piece of the world is gone. When we were in Reaper's Eye, when I saw those tomes and scrolls, I was myself again. For a moment, I was alive, but the vision always fades. I'm just a remnant of the Empress's ambition. Why can't I escape? Why is there never a way out? Me? I archived Rivellon's history. I used ink to immortalize greatness on the page. A lizard empress sought my services. She needed an ancient design restored from a damaged text. She told me the design was brilliant. When the armor was forged, the Empress showed it to me, and she trapped me inside. If it wasn't for me, the armor wouldn't exist at all. This is my fault. If I knew the way, I'd shout until every god heard me. But I have no idea. I simply want this to end.
The chronicler puts his head in his hands, collapsing in silent defeat. The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and bruised, but determined.
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know?
She sighs impatiently as you hack up the last of the greens.
You can't channel enough sauce? Gods be damned, why couldn't you have a nice simple problem? Finding an orc to dance the hornpipe, perhaps? I know exactly what must be done. You must find a master of sauce. And I could have helped you once, but no longer. The purging which the Magisters included as part of their service was quite efficient. They stripped me of my sauce. Not enough to silence me, but enough that I would not turn their insides to lime. Enough to sever my link to the font from which all sauce flows. And certainly enough that I cannot train you. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only sauce masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turned into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to. Just so, some of these are quite dark, twisted individuals. The kind of creatures that grew bored pulling their legs from spiders and so moved on to people. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter what is asked of you.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them. And you do not seem to be paying attention. Sorcerers, evil, controlling your source, saving Rivellon, please. Please tell me at least some of this rings a bell. Your focus, your only focus, must be on finding these masters, on finding the secrets to divinity. Nothing else matters. Alas, I am. And we do not have time to nitpick morals. The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource, but do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just try to keep an ear to the ground. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind the gash.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
The squirrel seems to be flicking through various scraps of paper. The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes.
You can see me. A god woken in my presence.
The spirit looks at you regretfully.
It is hard to hear of such power, and not covet it for yourself. I lie to my...
The Meister sits slumped in her chair. You notice that some of her...
What news? Can you channel enough source? Are you powerful enough to proceed? Then why, pray tell, are you wasting both my time and...
Still there, Quercus. Do you think it'll ever leave us in peace?
The squirrel reaches out and touches your ankle, sending a hot flush rippling through your body. Your mind's eye sees a new potential spell swirling before it. The squirrel chitters at you angrily and crosses its arms. After a moment's chittering at the cat, the rodent lays its paw on your boot, and you feel something. In some...
They don't come visit your ton. Who will?
Vapid fiction, along with a large helping of ham.
Would you like to know?
Back for a return visit. Have at it. Got yourself situated.
Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Yep.
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Your fish stinks of the void. What kind of rat would sell such filth?
The kind that don't fancy starving, along with the rest of this town. It's all well and good for you with your rations. We've got to take what we can get.
Keep talking, dwarf, and you'll end up eating sawdust from a cell floor.
Ah.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right.
There's a lot of call for the junkie cell, then.
You're safe among friends.
Junk?
Never
What,
forget
I
it.
offer nothing less than the wisdom of the ancients. And
Vapid fiction, along with a large helping of ham.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
They don't come visit your ton. Who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Have you anything that will protect against void waking?
I can turn aside fire, cold and poison. But void walking? God knows what'll stop those beasts.
Cold steel it is, then.
Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, Ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Tell me, have you heard any news?
Nothing good. Void waking are everywhere. Thank goodness God you're here to protect us.
Yes.
Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
There's a lot of call for the junkie cell, then.
Like you're buying anything.
John,
I don't come
why,
visit
I
you,
offer
Tom.
nothing less
You
than the
will.
wisdom of the ancients. And
Wouldn't you like to know?
Vapid fiction, along with a large helping of ham.
Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends.
my word,
Never
but
for-
you do look it. Have at it. Got yourself situated.
Have you anything that will protect against void waking?
Yep.
How you holding up? Void walking?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
God knows what'll stop those beasts.
Cold steel it is.
Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
Collared by magisters in the far north, you were forced marched to this foreign land. A moment of hope as a grinning dwarf removes your source collar. Seconds later, void-woken death.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You remember a cold childhood in a no-hope fishing town, bullied mercilessly by a dwarf named Lohar. With no other prospects, you sign up as a magister, eager for the power denied you all your life. Eloisa was the prettiest girl, not to others, but to you. Her luminous eyes shone brighter than the moon. The day you collared her for Fort Joy, you wept every tear you had. From the dark, you stare up at the thin slivers of light visible between the floorboards. Shadows ripple across the slivers, accompanied by heavy footsteps. Magister foot. Wood creaks above your head. One of them has paused. Your breath catches in your throat as you wait. You hear only one gruffly barked word before the hands seize you. You twist your head around as the Magisters haul you away. Your wife and 2 boys stand in the doorway, helpless. Wendy cries out something to you. You tell yourself it was, "I love you," or "We'll wait."
Still's worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree.
A boy at swim. Your name is Joe. You're 9. You're brave. You're off to see your mum. A shadow moves below you. A jagged vice closes on your thigh.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Water looks... Hello, lady.
The little boy beside her.
Hello.
Cool. How did you know that?
Mrs., have you seen our friend?
Tell them the truth about Joe. They have to grow up.
What they don't know can't hurt them. Don't tell them.
Kids are resilient. Tell them the truth.
The horror grows on their little faces.
No, that's a horrible thing to say. I bet it wasn't Joe. I bet it was someone else's leg in that...
She bursts into tears, then looks from you to her and back again, then starts crying too. After a moment, the crying subsides.
So where's Joe?
They look puzzled, but the little boy...
I think we should go home. Come on, Ben. Thanks,
Bye-bye, Mr. Lady Missus.
They skip away, still children, but now, somehow, older than before.
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right. Too much. You're safe among friends. Look, never forget it.
That is fiction. Along with a large number of
Anything that will protect against coldwake.
I can turn aside fire, cold and poison. But mind walking, God knows what'll stop those beasts.
Cold steel it is.
Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Have you anything that will protect against warfare?
I can turn aside fire, cold and poison. But wide woken, God knows what'd stop those beasts. Cold steel. Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
You experience a flash of memory, but not of the fish you ate. You stand at a barrier. It buzzes like a locust. 7 others stand with you, the short one and the fire breather among them. They gaze upon the portal, entranced and obsessed. Another of the 7, the graceful one's hands ripples spread from where his fingers touch. Between each crest you glimpse nothingness, void. The buzz is silenced, the air, the memory fades.
Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
A sea voyage. Children and adults huddled together for warmth.
together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget. Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Truly revolting.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Buying or selling? Capital. Good luck to you.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Hear ye! Hear ye! Queen Justinia executes 24 noblemen for insubordination!
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know? Well met.
You look down at the cart and see fish with flaking scales. Tumour.
As you will.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends.
You needing supplies? I'd stock up if I were you. It's madness out there. Never seen anything like it.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Until later, then.
Keeping it together.
Back again, eh? Looking for anything in particular? Suit yourself.
You're safe among friends.
Back for a return? Have at it. Got yourself situated.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Oh, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
I don't come visit.
Yep.
Well,
Wouldn't you like to know?
keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Back again, eh? Looking for anything in particular?
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it. Nothing good. The boys woken her everywhere. Thank the divine you're here to protect us.
Yes, of course.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Have it your way.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
in any mood to talk about it.
My career is
Back again, eh? Looking for anything in particular?
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right. You're safe among friends.
Have it your...